Gloves Off is always on point. On point. Bringing you the best on current issues, community affairs, and the happenings around us. This segment of Gloves Off is brought to you by The Best, so pay them a visit. Check them out. This is Gloves Off.
Well. You're listening to Gloves Off with Professor Buitrón. Alright then, I miss say words on point, straightforward. No jibber jabber, everybody forward. Issues, facts and solution. Get it at Gloves Off with Professor Buitrón. Alright, one other thing is a revolution. Get it on point with Professor Buitrón. Gloves Off, no nonsense issues, politics, community. A better men follow reader. Gloves Off, a revolutionary show with everything that you need to know. With Professor Buitrón. Watch ya!
If you've ever wondered, if you ever had a clue what would happen if Batman, the Avengers, the X-Men fought the 47 Ronin, you will have great hitting, power strikes, and speed. This event will be known as the North Texas Stick Fighting Championships. It's open to all martial artists. This is where legends are formed, where they're forged, where they are founded. Sign up now. Call the number 956-401-4868 and look up the website at www.savate.biz. So remember, this is for serious martial artists. If you're not serious, sit back and whisper about the event. If not, we'll see you there.
With candidate Anthony Aguero from El Paso. How are we doing today?
Good. How about yourself?
Good. Nice to meet you.
Nice to see you.
And tell me, how do you like Laredo? First time?
First time. Everybody was very friendly. I actually had an opportunity to visit the border for a little while. Got a little sunburn and got to meet some of the border patrol agents out here. But nonetheless, seems like a nice community. Like I said, everybody was very friendly to us. So yeah, it was nice.
Nice. And you're from El Paso, no?
Born and raised.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about why you're running for the seat of ex-Senator Beto O'Rourke, right?
Yes, currently occupied by his protege, Veronica Escobar, District 16 of El Paso. And I managed the last congressional running in 2018.
Yes.
I got to help a candidate with his campaign. And I realized that there was things that were wrong in El Paso. First of all, the lack of leadership within the GOP in El Paso. I've been working very hard to grow our precinct chairs, to grow our party, to get momentum going.
And the party now is Republican, or then it was Democrat, or how was the party? Because Beto's what?
Beto's a Democrat.
So when you helped him, you were a Democrat?
Yes. So I helped him originally get into Congress, and a professor from UTEP kind of woke me up and said, "Why are you helping this guy?" And really nobody had asked me that, and being young, I didn't know really what I was getting myself into. And I started thinking, And just that one seed that he planted completely changed everything for me. And I knew that I could no longer continue supporting the direction that they were trying to head in as far as in the district and in the city. So I pulled back and I started doing research on my own, and I realized that I was wrong.
That you were wrong in the party or wrong in helping him?
I was wrong in the party that I had gotten myself involved with. It's not your JFK party
No.
anymore, so.
You know, here Laredo's that way, okay? And people, they'll tell me, well, you know, and people say, oh, you're right wing, you're Republican, you're this, you're that. I'll go, wait a minute, for the last maybe 20 years, I've been voting Democrat unless it's a presidential election. Or, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Why? Because those Democrats were the only ones that run in Webb County and Laredo. They're the only ones that are running. They're Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you going to run? How are you going to vote Republican? There's no other choice. So then you had two choices here. You had Democrats of this party or Democrats of this party. Okay, at the big in early 2000 to about 2008, whether they'll say, are you with the judge or are you with the sheriff? So if you say, well, I'm helping the judge or one of the judge's candidates, then all of a sudden you'd be blackballed by all the other candidates and businesses and so on and so forth. So Laredo was very childish in the sense of kind of like, you know, glee clubs. You know, this one here and this one there. So I started seeing a division within the same Democratic Party.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? A party means a unit. We're all thinking alike, going one way. Understand?
Right.
So when you have 15 different ways, and there's not opinions, there's different candidates, and they're all calling each other corrupt. You're like, when you're in the same party, I mean, where's the Republican Party? You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I guess the Democrat Party is per se left me. I did leave them. I just kind of like, okay, well, I don't need to do anything over there. It's kind of like, okay, I'm just going to stand here. I still have good friends that are involved, you know, and they're public officials and compadres and stuff, you know, and then you talk to them, and you even talk to some of them, and they say, well, you know, for the president, I'm voting over here, but then how come you're not voting for your own party?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think here in Laredo, it's a little bit different. I think you have one side of the spectrum, they're Republican Democrats, and the other side of the spectrum, they're Democrat, old school Democrats. Understand?
Right.
And you know what? I guess if you kind of analyze that, you know. But the rest of Texas, it's a little bit different. And what was a major cause of all your studies and your research that you said, you know what, I'm going to step back and I'm going to really point myself into the direction that I really want to help my community?
The high taxes and abortion. The fact that these individuals are willing to butcher a child days before being born, it just doesn't line up with my values.
Sure.
The high taxes and the identity politics.
Absolutely.
It's just, that's not a way for me. That's not a way for anybody to really make a decision based on the skin color, based on your heritage background. You should be able to vote for who you want based on the morals and values, and of course, vote with your wallet.
No, you're absolutely correct. And you mentioned a couple of things there first, and I'm going to touch abortion, okay? Because I think everybody kind of stops with abortion. I understand why laws are made, because you have an abuse of an issue, a subject, or a way of doing things. And I think in the past you had a lot of abuse of abortions. So the abortion laws came into play quite to protect the women that were going to the back alleys and the back of trailers and the back of houses and so on and so forth to get those abortions, because back then they were not done. Is there a need for abortion? I think we have to regulate it for that not to happen, because we had a lot of young ladies and ladies in general and young women that did not make it out. They died.
Mhm.
So we have to regulate it for those things not to occur.
Right.
But the way they're taking it all the way up to the third trimester and days before, I mean, that's absolutely a no-no. Understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so it's a kind of, there we're gonna have to kind of step back. It's like everything else, you know, we have to balance everything.
You gotta draw the line.
You have to draw a line. And on taxes, that's something that's coming of age. I hear here in Webb County and in Laredo, the raising of the taxes. Everybody's complaining. What are they doing with their money? So that is universal throughout the United States. That's going to break. It's going to snap.
Mhm.
And when that snaps, it's going to be an ugly snap across the board. Okay? The last thing that you mentioned was the identity politics, the hate. Okay? If you wear an American flag, you're hated. Wait a minute, those are my colors.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yeah. That's right.
I have family. Yes, I have cousins, thirds and fourths that live in Mexico. Yes, of course. Those that say they're not, they're lying. But I have family that died in Goliad. I had family that died in the Alamo. I have family that developed Floresville. Floresville was kin on my mom's side. Okay, Seguin was their cousin. Okay, we're Tejanos.
Mhm.
My great grandfather was killed by a Texas Ranger and going back there to get signed for the Santa Gertrudis, which was their land. Okay, when my grandfather was in World War I. So we are from Texas, so we're Tejanos. So my colors are red, white, and blue. They're not white, green, and red. Understand?
Right, absolutely.
So when all of a sudden they say you have to do this, no, I don't have that. This is my town.
Mhm.
And this is my country. I respect Mexico, and if I go to any other countries, because I teach all over the world, and when you go to those countries, you respect their culture, you respect their laws, you respect everything. I'm not going to go over there and wave with the American flag.
Could you imagine going across the border here in Laredo, going across the border and waving an American flag? You probably won't make it back.
No, you won't make it back. And people need to understand that, because people do not understand what we're living in.
It's such a double standard all around, not just in that aspect, but all around.
We as Americans, we have to stop the hyphen. What do I mean by that? Mexican hyphen American, Afro hyphen American, Irish hyphen American. We have to stop that. We're all Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Absolutely.
Understand?
Mm-hmm.
Across the board. We have to cut that hyphen. And it's the most beautiful country. And folks always talk about the American dream. I've never heard it, the French dream, the Italian dream, the South African dream, the Brazilian dream,
or the
Mexican dream. Understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's American dream.
Uh-huh.
So they want to come here. I don't blame them from coming here. It's just the best country there is.
Absolutely.
But we have to fix our immigration. So, you being from El Paso, let's talk about immigration right now in El Paso and the problems that we have in El Paso, and what do you think needs to change?
Okay. First and foremost, we need a complete overhaul of our immigration system.
Absolutely.
You asked me, do we need a wall? Yes. To me, a wall signifies, we definitely need a wall, but it's also a symbol of past failed policies. That's a fact. Because if we would not incentivize from the get-go with the freebies, with the education, with all of the housing for illegals to come in, we wouldn't be at the point that we're at today.
Absolutely.
Therefore, we need to completely overhaul our whole immigration, start from scratch, and we need to come together, reach across the aisle, and be grown-ups about it. You cannot continue to, no, I want it my way. No, we have to learn to give and take. There are definitely individuals that should be helped, that do deserve the asylum. And there's also a lot of individuals that are coming here under asylum, fake asylum pretense.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of leftist organizations that are working with the cartels, and they are actually undermining our whole immigration system. One thing that nobody's talking about is the United Nations Open Migration Pact. So, for example, my congresswoman in El Paso, Veronica Escobar, at her town hall meetings, over and over and over repeats to the constituents, the ones that just follow her blindly, that individuals are coming over here because of global warming and climate change, because they can't grow their crops in Honduras or in Guatemala. That's a blatant lie. Before September of last year, you didn't really hear about no caravans coming into the United States. Sure, we had a problem. Sure, there was illegal migration, and it's always been there. But you didn't have this mass flux of individuals coming in by the thousands, And the United Nations Open Migration Pact, for example, was drafted with Barack Obama in office through the United Nations, and it was left for Hillary Clinton to sign, which we didn't get Hillary Clinton, we had Donald Trump. Donald Trump declined and did not sign. Enrique Peña Nieto, the ex-president of Mexico, also drafted it and left it for the next president to come in and sign, which President AMLO signed into. 190-something other countries signed into this open migration pact. So therefore, they're using Mexico as a front door to come in and exploit our immigration laws. And the fact of the matter is that these individuals that are now coming into our country, getting processed with a 24 to 48 hour time frame and being released, and a lot of them will not go to their court dates. Our court dates are backed up 7 to 8 years, okay? They get released within 24 to 48 hours, with or without a family. And for the next 7 to 8 years, these individuals are not here on a work permit. They're not here on a work visa. They're not here on the Braceros program, which I absolutely believe they need to bring back, okay? So for the next 7 to 8 years, these individuals are gonna need housing, they're gonna need food, they're gonna need medical, the kids are gonna need education. And what's gonna happen is the people that are gonna be left to fork over this tab is the American taxpayer. The taxpayer is gonna be responsible for these individuals gaming the system for those 7 to 8 years while they wait for their asylum case to be heard. And just imagine in that time frame, how many of these individuals are going to reproduce and have families and have kids, okay? We already see it with the DACA, and if you want to deport individuals that came in illegally and had kids here, oh my God, you're a racist, how dare you? These kids have been here for 5, 6 years, that's all I know is America, and you're going to deport parents of these American citizen kids? We're really getting to a point of almost no return, because as many people as they're coming in, they're going to be able to vote. Keep in mind, in Texas, Ted Cruz only won by 200,000 votes.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay? And these individuals that are coming in after they've been released from ICE and their processing is complete, 30 days later, they're able and eligible to get a driver's license or an ID. With that driver's license or an ID, you can vote. Even if you're not registered, you go to the voting polls and you swear a little oath, you raise your hand, you say, I swear I can vote, and they allow you to vote. I've worked the polls before, and I see this day in, day out during election season, and these individuals will vote, and they're going to bring in socialism. They're being incentivized.
Oh, you're absolutely correct. The flood is going, and I keep saying this, and I'll say it all the time. There's two types of the conservatives. Okay, conservatives are split right now. You have conservatives in the Republican Party, you have conservatives in the Democrat Party. But conservatives are conservatives. If they see taxes, they're not going to vote that way. If they see a person that's going off the deep end, they're going to vote against them. So the conservatives is to vote that needs to, the conservatives now have to stand up, okay? Because what I've seen in the Republican side, I've seen the Republicans shoot themselves in the foot time in and time out, okay? All of a sudden, they're doing great, and all of a sudden, boom, they turn around with just, you know, Crenshaw and Abbott and our lieutenant governor, they caved to the second.
Yeah.
Now they want red flags and they're camouflaging red flags. No, it's not a red flag. Now they're moonwalking back and forth. No, you caved. Okay, so in my opinion, you guys are rhinos.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Baby pink Republicans.
You understand what I'm saying? And guess what? You're not going to be voted for again. And it's sad because I admire these individuals because what they're doing, and all of a sudden this may think, you don't touch the Constitution, period. It's not a living article.
Shall not be infringed upon.
You understand? So everything else that's coming in, we have to stop this of Republicans shooting themselves in the foot. And the conservative Democrats better stand up and say, you know what, let's bring back our party to what it is. Because your party has now gone full-blown socialist, communist to the left, and you guys, that balloon got away.
Yeah.
And some of them do not realize that. When you talk to them, they don't realize that it's going on. They're like, ooh. Okay? But it's good to hear the other one saying, you know what, I'm not going to vote for that person over there. He's socialist. I'm not going to vote for that person over there because he doesn't have a core value. It's good to hear that. So the conservatives are standing up. 2020 is the election for America. And I agree with a lot of people. Because if Americans do not stand up, we will lose America.
Absolutely.
And plain and simple, you know, from the president all the way down, everybody started caving. Now, even President Trump, love him to death, what he's done. But he came out and he started talking about, as soon as El Paso came of age, boom, the first thing was red flag. Okay, and he needs to step down and start thinking about what he wants, because a lot of the people that were behind him are now saying, let's look and see who else is going to come up. Because there's a huge silent majority that put a lot of these Republicans into office, and that silent majority can take all these Republicans out of office. Okay? President Trump won because he was running against Hillary Clinton. But if he had another conservative Democrat up there running, he might not have won. Okay? And that's hard to fathom because we're all in the Republican Party. We're like, well, you know what? It's the truth. He won because of Hillary. Period. And he beat all the other Republicans. Why? Because he was the most level-headed out of all the other ones. Understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely right.
So we need to step back, and we need to talk. If we're able to talk to these individuals that are in office and say, wait a minute, let's start doing what's right. You know who I was proud of?
Who?
Ted Cruz. Yesterday with that apparent debate, which looked more of a counseling session with Alicia Milano.
Oh.
Okay?
I didn't get a chance to watch it yet.
Watch it. To me, he came out okay. He was like, well, okay. Understand? So tell me, what else would you like to see?
I'd like to see the Republicans not continue to kick the can down the road.
Absolutely.
It's just whether they're doing it gently or kicking it hard, nonetheless, a lot of these guys are kicking it. And I would really want to say, I have nothing to say to them. I'd like to tell the American people, vote these rhinos out. These long-term, lifelong politicians that have made a career out of this are laughing at us. And we need to bring the power back to the people by normal, everyday American citizens that love this country.
Absolutely. So here's one for you. Would you, if elected, and you step up there, would you push for term limits?
Absolutely. Absolutely 120% behind that.
Well,
There's no doubt that it's much, much needed. We have individuals like Nancy Pelosi and the rest of her clown show that have proven them, and Republicans as well, that have proven themselves time and time again to be completely inefficient. And they've done nothing but line up their own pockets and voted in things that are only convenient to their families and to their pockets. So term limits is something that should be a priority of every single candidate, every fresh face that is planning on stepping up and making a difference. That should be on everybody's list. And we need to unseat every single rhino Republican that is even considering the red flag laws.
Absolutely.
Because the Second Amendment protects basically the whole Constitution, and if that goes, man, America will be lost immediately.
No, you're absolutely correct. And I hope the folks out there in El Paso that hear this, here's your candidate. Here's a man that you all should be voting for. Okay, just on that alone. Okay, snap out of this feelings, get your Kleenex. If you need a Band-Aid, get a Band-Aid. And guess what? Vote you in.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Absolutely.
And I hope you do win. And God bless you for standing up.
Thanks
for coming in here at any time.
Thank you so much for your time, and God bless America.
You guys be safe. Until next time.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
If you've ever wondered, if you ever had a clue what would happen if Batman, the Avengers, the X-Men fought the 47 Ronin, you will have great hitting, power strikes, and speed. This event will be known as the North Texas Stick Fighting Championships. It's open to all martial artists. This is where legends are formed, where they're forged, where they are founded. Sign up now. Call the number 956-401-4868 and look up the website at www.savate.biz. So remember, this is for serious martial artists. If you're not serious, sit back and whisper about the event. If not, we'll see you there. Gloves Off is always on point. On point. Bringing you the best on current issues, community affairs, and the happenings around us. This segment of Gloves Off is brought to you by The Best, so pay them a visit. Check them out. This is Gloves Off.
Well. You're listening to Gloves Off with Professor Buitrón. Alright then, I may say words on point, straightforward. No jibber jabber, everybody forward. Issues, facts and solution. Get it at Gloves Off with Professor Buitrón. Alright, one other thing is a revolution. Get it on point with Professor Buitrón. Gloves Off. No nonsense issues, politics, community. A better men follow reader. Gloves Off, a revolutionary show with everything that you need to know. With Professor Buitrón. Watch ya!